Yeah, he's there. Okay, so we put the old lettuce out because I had seen the bunny under the deck today, and sure enough, do you see his little butt? You can see his little teeny bunny butt right there. He is eating that lettuce. And Chips is holding onto my waist so I don't fall out the window. Oh, we'll have to go see if we see him later. Goodness, and there's one of the bunnies. Oh my gosh, he's so cute. So that's not the bunny who is currently under our deck eating the lettuce. But we have bunnies off the deck. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. At least until I start growing things. But at least the deck is like a few feet off the, well, maybe a foot off the ground. Okay, maybe half a foot off the ground. So maybe they won't get up there and eat everything when I plant it. But they can have the old lettuce. It's organic. So I'm pretty sure it's good for you, right? Oh my gosh, you're so cute. Look at how cute he is, darling. He's lifting his little nose. He wiggled it at us. Oh my gosh. Morning, everyone. So far this day has been really slow. I can't believe it's already almost noon. I wake up so late here because it's kind of, you can tell, sort of shadowed inside of the house because of these gigantic trees we have outside, even during the early morning, even during the afternoon. So I woke up at like 10 today, and that never happens. I normally wake up at 6, but I wake up with the sun and there's no sun. It's just trees, and I love the trees, but I'm gonna have to do something about this because I came in and the birds who I normally turn on at 8 were just staring at me in the dark like, what's going on? So sorry, little guys. But yeah, it's been kind of a slow morning as a result, and I need to tuck in because I have to record. When don't I have to record for the main channel? But I've been listening to the Fat Rat New Mix 2016 because I actually adore techno kind of music. So I've been having a great time with it. I'm pretty sure that like Never Be Alone and No 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 are probably my favorite songs in the mix, but that's what Seri listens to wake up in the morning. It's not Enya, despite many people thinking that. That's the kind of like, ooh, sort of new agey stuff that I would start my day with. It's actually techno music because I love techno music. But I have been working really hard because I am distracted right now trying to figure out what to do for the September schedule. And that may sound like a really mundane thing, but you guys, some of the biggest, most important decisions that you make are sometimes on a foundation of mundane choices where you just do some really nice organizational work. And then because you prepared the plan, because you have a schedule, because you organized everything, the things, the fruits of the glorious adventures you want to go on are made. Like, the best analogy I can come up with is if you want to have a really successful garden and be able to walk around and harvest up armfuls of flowers and fruits and vegetables, you have to plan out how it's going to be. You have to think about what plants grow when. You have to think about what plants need the most sun. You have to think about which ones you have to plant months earlier than others so that they can establish themselves. You have to think about the ones that are only going to be popular at the market for like a few weeks. And that's kind of how I view my channel. And I have to think about it like a garden. I have to think about planting certain seeds at certain times. I have to make sure that I have other things that may take months of behind the scenes work, like an apple tree, for instance. You have to plant that puppy years before you want an apple. And it's kind of like that for planning out a channel. So it may sound really mundane, but all of the adventures and whatever it was that snagged your attention and brought you into our community came from trying to do this like organizational stuff. And I'm trying something new today because keeping it all in my head and all scribbled down on one piece of paper was just stressing me to pieces. So I got note cards. My mom actually gave me this bag of note cards like 6 years ago, and I found it while I was cleaning for the move. And so what I've done is I have written down all of our current series onto one stack of note cards. So there are 15 note cards here representing the series that we're currently running. So No Man's Sky, I mean the zoo crafting, and then there's like the ones that I wish we were currently running, like the zoo crafting farming series. Those are things, this is the little stack of things I already have the art and a lot of the mods done for. I just haven't done that, like Pixelmon Rangers
in here. Then we have Abzu, we've got like Stardew Valley, there's Wolf Quest, of course, Warrior Cats, of course, Zoo Kitchen, Dog Quest, which I finally started up again, Star Stable, 101 Dalmatians, Green Family Legacy, all of those things are in this stack. So I have a stack for games that I am currently playing and that are kind of like part of the August schedule, because a few of these I might put to the side for a month or two while we work into the September schedule. And I'm thinking September schedule will kind of be themed around going back to school, because I know by then most of my audience will have returned to school. And I was trying to think of what kind of games could be related to that. And I think Animal Jam is a game that it's very, very young audience game, and I'm trying to find that balance too. Like I said, this is kind of as complicated as running my own little garden, having to decide like, okay, well, I know I have the more mature audience members, and for my own sanity, sometimes it's nice to have the games that are a little bit, the games and the stories that are a little bit deeper, like the Sims story, Sims 4 and Sims 3 really provide me that outlet. Abzu is really providing me that outlet this month. Games like that just sort of let me slip into my age range just a teensy bit are really nice now and then. And Animal Jam, I think, is the opposite of that. I'm going to be really targeting a lot of my very, very young audience and doing that. But it has been really, really requested, and to be honest, the 80%, I think it's like 83% I know of the audience is between the ages of 11 and 14. And I have to remember that when you're trying to run a business on top of build a community. It is the most surreal experience. I have had family businesses, not me personally, but my family has always, like, one or another of them have run their own family business for as long as I can remember. I grew up helping my grandparents with their business. I entered my teenage years helping my parents with their scrapbook store that they ran. I know what it means to do like the business side of things, then, and to do it on that like kind of intimate small scale level where you're just the family members and you're kind of making that go. But to do it, so I know the practical side of things, but to do it on like the emotional level, where really what I've created is kind of like this community, and I don't really want to call it a business because it's not really a business. It's the most surreal exchange of your guys' time looking through those ads. Like, you basically get the video for free, right? And you sit through an ad or two, and then that ad turns around and pays me so that I can put a roof over my head and take care of my birds and plants on my wall and send money to my parents every month, which I still do. A lot of it, but they need it. And you know, that's amazing because it's not really a business. You're not really walking in with like your wallet, and I don't really have to take your money from you. I just share time with you. And that has supported my life and supports Chip's life and my parents and the birds and the geckos, and it's just, I don't even know. It's just the most amazing thing. I feel like if I lived in some sort of idealistic world where I'm a storyteller sitting in town square and just telling story after story. And yeah, I guess you kind of have that element of like, and then people like drop tips. Like their time magically turns into tips in front of them and just drops into the tip jar without them actually even having to put anything in there. And I think that is just one of the most fascinating, amazing, fantastic modern creations out there in the world, is that there's this free exchange of time that, because of those ads, ends up taking care of the person who's doing the creating and the storytelling. And I absolutely adore that. That's why I have YouTube Red, actually. It's because I watch almost exclusively. I don't watch TV. I don't watch Hulu. We don't even have our cable. I think we thankfully weren't even forced to get cable on this plan, finally. And I just watch YouTubers, and I love that. And so I pay my $9 a month for YouTube Red, and they get a slice of that. I don't even see the ads, and it's just, to me, a fascinating system, because it really is just the free exchange of time ends up supporting me, ends up taking care of my family, and it frees up that stress of having to sell something to someone to the point where I can just sit here and go, I wonder if I should do Animal Jam, or I wonder if I should do wildlife camp next month, and just focus on the stories and focus on the fun and the adventure and cultivating a healthier emotional life that I can turn around and like I said, gather the harvest of and give to you guys. So that's my thoughts on YouTube and why I love it and why I think it's the most I mean, is there anything else out there in this world? All I can think of is that analogy of like being the storyteller in town square, telling stories, and people don't even have to like tip. That just magically the tip appears. The longer they stay, the more tips that appear and just fall out of the sky right into the tip jar. And that's really, really, really cool to me. But then you have to think about how to have people stay. And when I know I have a younger audience, that means thinking about things like Animal Jam. But I'm also privileged enough to be able to have the opportunity to choose to use my time, because I use so much of my time, and to make other series too. If Animal Jam and Wolf Quest and Zoo Crafting and Warriors, which I do love, all of them. I don't play anything I don't like, because you guys could tell, because I'm so emotional about everything we get into. But if all of those things can support my family, then that's when it's really fun to sort of sit down after those recordings and be like, whew, well, all the kids are happy, and the kids definitely gave me a lot of time, and so now I'm taken care of. I can probably pay rent. And then you can turn around and you can go and you can look at the older audience and be like, so what are we going to talk about for Sims today? Or how are we going to relax with Abzu? And it's really, 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 really cool to do that. So it's that balance, because then I also don't want to lose that connection with the older people either, because they're part of my community too, and I love the things that we're sharing too. I want to share them. I want to indulge in like more Sims 4 stories, or Darian and his like devious, the way he cheated on his wife and had a child out of wedlock so he could have a pure-blooded witch son. And yeah, in Sims 3 North Star Legacy. So it varies extremely on age range and story tone and maturity levels for all of the adventures that we tell. And I love that, because it also keeps it fresh and interesting for me. But that's why I'm sitting here going, Animal Jam? Maybe not my jam. I don't know. I've never played it. Maybe I'll totally fall in love with it. I'm pretty easy to please that way. But I do want to try to dabble in some other things like Animal Crossing for the DS for next month, Wildlife Camp, the Cairo Soft Pocket Academy, kind of a mix of things that might appeal to an older audience as well as appeal to the younger audience. Not because it's about the numbers, but because it's just about the practical side of things, and then also about trying to, it's like flavor. It's like that garden analogy again. You don't want to have just tomatoes, but you also know that not everybody enjoys a Brussels sprout, but you want to have a Brussels sprout, so you have to figure out the balance of tomato plots versus Brussels sprout plots if you want to take it to market, sell it, and then be able to take care of yourself and watch the garden flourish more. So that was a lot of random analogies, but hopefully it was a way to share with you guys how I think about YouTube and how I think about doing everything. And I also have stacks over here of things that I have played, Jurassic World and a whole bunch of other things, Slime Rancher, Spore, things that may not be on the current list because I just couldn't fit it in, or because I had to pull it due to having so many series, but I haven't shut down. These are still active series, they're just not currently active. So those guys, and then I have a big list right here, big pile of games that I own and I've never even played. And this isn't even the full list. This is just a few of them. Farm for Your Life, Terraria, Starbound, Harvest Moon, A Wonderful Life, Sim Animals Africa, Sims Medieval, Harvest Moon Animal Parade. Just things that I have and I want to play, but I haven't had time for. And I'm hoping by writing them all down on these little note cards, I can lay them out and see them physically in front of me, because I do really good with those physical representations of things, and be able to pick what goes up each month. I need to look over which things right now Wolf Quest, Zoo Crafting, and No Man's Sky are dailies, ideally. Sometimes I'm not able to always make that goal. But I need to figure out which ones are going to stay daily and which ones are going to swap out. I need to figure out what episodes, like Abzu is a game that has a hard finish. It's not an open sandbox. So I need to figure out how, when, and how quickly I can finish that, and so on and so forth and so forth and so forth. And there's more and more and more and more and more and more. And I need to write down virtual villagers onto those little cards too, because I want to play virtual villagers too. But yeah, there's lots of things like that, and hopefully this organization will make a healthy garden that I can pull a lot of harvest from. And it's really surreal, because often when I hear a lot of other people talk about the games they're going to play, they talk about it in terms of what gets the most views, and that's because that's how you have to do it to take care of yourself. And for me, I don't want to have to think about that unless things got really tight. So I try to think about it in terms of what's my audience and what do I know, the excitement and the happiness that people have about the things we do. That's what really keeps me going. And the more I can get that kind of excitement inside of my heart from seeing everybody so happy, then the more I create. So it's like a good positive feedback loop. So for me, right now, I'm lucky enough to be in a position where I can look at it and go, okay, what are the things that I know are going to keep as many members of the community happy and also give us something new and fresh to try out, and also maybe bring back some old things? And what are things I know we've had a good taste of for a while so I can kind of reduce its frequency? And what are things I know can wait for a couple months before they come back again? And what are things I know can be done? And it's really a lot harder than it sounds, because right now, like I said, I'm in a position where I'm privileged enough to be able to kind of pick and choose what I want to do, as long as it's stuff that will actually appeal to the audience and appeal to our community. And like, I would never get rid of warrior cats or zoo crafting, for instance. But under it, all of it, under all of the fun and under all the emotion and under all the excitement, is that knowledge that whatever I pick, whatever I invest my time is a gamble. It really is like gambling, because that's what I'm gambling my future on. That's what I'm gambling my family's well-being on. So it's a major decision. And I'm not surprised. It's a major emotional decision. It's a major decision for fun and adventure. It's a major time investment decision. And it's a major decision because whatever I pick, that is going to be the health of my family. If it doesn't do well, then my family is going to be in trouble. You know what I mean? So there is that like, sort of pressure to it too. But I think we'll be fine. I think we'll be fine. And I just am excited to have a new way of trying to organize things. And I've kind of come to the realization that I just can't keep adding more series on. So I'll just have to be okay with dropping a series for a month or two before bringing it back again, so we can rotate in some new stuff and just try out new things. But I really love that as long as I can do this, I'm going to be doing this. And I'm really, really, really happy about that. So I need to eat. It's lunchtime and I haven't even had breakfast yet. And I need to start recording because I'm behind on things for the day. Today I'm going to be going to Junior and JJ in Zomberry Village and collecting as much leather boots from them so I can make rucksacks, so that I can make picnic baskets, so that I can feed people into crafting. And there's so many adventures, there's so many things to do, and hopefully I'll be able to highlight the No Man's Sky Wikia too. So there'll be things, you guys will see them on the main channel. And then later I will try to even show you, if I can. I've already blathered on long enough, but if I can, I took out the screen from the window yesterday. Huzzah! Now maybe I can put the bird feeder up next to my window, so I'm really excited about that. So alright, back to work. And may the forest be with you guys. I've got some fresh tea. This time it's lemon zinger tea, and apparently has some hibiscus in it. But I'm a little sad because my favorite peach tea is not sold at the Kroger here, so the grocery store doesn't carry it. And I was a little bit sad about that. I'll have to look around and see if I can find it, and maybe another one of the grocery stores like the Plum Market, which is really nice. That's where I got my goldfish plant. Goldfish plant is doing good. People suggested all sorts of cool names for it, like Goldine and Magikarp. So I'm going to go through that update vlog that we did, the community update vlog, and pick out some names for the goldfish flowers, because I think that would be just really fun. But it's been a really quiet day because it's so beautiful. Have you ever had a day be so beautiful weather-wise where you just can't get anything done? And I mean, you're getting a lot of things done. I've been doing chores. Like I showed you guys earlier, I spent quite a while trying to organize how we're going to be playing out the series over the next few months. I've been hanging out with Darling, aka Chips. And it's just so beautiful though. It just, oh, and the breeze is coming back. It feels like a perfect autumn day. And I love it here. I love it here. The weather is just unbelievable. The beauty of all of it is just fantastic. And it just feels so peaceful that it's hard to focus. But I am going to be focusing, and I say hard to focus, but I've actually been doing a lot of work on the No Man's Sky Wikia. There's amazing creative people over there. If you like the No Man's Sky series, go read the Wikia, because there's hundreds. There's over 118 pages as of the moment when I just checked a second ago that people have added in, where they've just made up different civilizations that lived on the planet. They've made up entire reproductive cycles for all of the different alien species we've run into. It is just amazing seeing people's creativity just have free reign in what they do with it. It's fantastic. But anyway, I'm going to get to work. But before I got to work, I wanted to show you guys that we put in the window bird feeder. So the window bird feeder is ready to go. Cleaned it up. We can't find the middle suction cup, but that's going to be okay. It's pretty stable. I had a mourning dove over there in the forest of the backyard, and I'm trying to convince him to go from that forest area to my window. So we're going to try that out, and that's encouraging because we had a cardinal show up on the deck last night too, and that's like maybe the 5th bird that I've seen since we've moved here. So I'm hoping if I get some bird feeders and put them out on the deck and just actually, like, instead of just throwing seed out, like actually put some bird feeders out there, then we might get more birds. So I'm excited about that, but I wanted to show you guys just really quickly. Okay, we're going to fill it up. And I tried to put the bird feeder, full of that good seed. Now let's see if I actually get somebody showing up to eat any of that. But I tried to put the bird feeder kind of next to my desk, so if we do start getting a lot of birds, they'll be used to me moving around because they'll have come and eaten and just seen me here at my desk, and then I can set up the camera to record them. And I'll keep my window closed so they don't fly in and scare my birds to pieces. But it's just a beautiful, relaxing, gorgeous day, surrounded by my greenery. Like I was mentioning a few days ago, it is amazing what grabbing life with your 2 hands and going, okay, here are my resources and here are my dreams, and making those 2 things meet. It takes a lot of work and it takes a lot of conscious organization. And I just wish I had had the motivation to be more disciplined, to be organized, because that's really all it is being more organized. And you're going to be alive and continuing to move one day after the next. And if you organize your days right, then you see a little bit of progress as time goes on towards your dreams. And I feel amazing to look at my living wall and to realize that a few months ago that was just a dream. That was just something where I was like, man, wouldn't it be cool if I was ever fancy enough to have a living wall? And then you do the research and you're like, oh wow, that's only like $20 for the thing. And then you do more research and you're like, oh, these plants can actually grow inside. And then before you know it, I just organized my thoughts enough to make the purchases on Amazon, and boom, now I have a living wall. I made a dream that I thought was stuck in the realm of like the fictional future life of luxury and who knows what. You know when you always daydream, like, and you're like, oh man, but that's for those years when I'm really fancy. And you put it off and you put it off because it seems like it's a dream that you'll fulfill when you reach that point, when you make it. And you don't even know what when you make it means. And I made when I make it happen because I organized and built my wall, and I love that. So here, have a look at my wall again. Dun, 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 my amazing living wall. Ha, ha, ha. A dream that came true just because I focused and made it happen. I hope you guys have some of those too.